Just all right. Hey, everybody. It is Sunday. It is 3 o'clock, and we have our Blizzard of 2026 underway here. Let me show you what our radars look like over the past couple of hours here. We are talking about a good amount of rain changing over to snow. This radar in particular isn't showing it, but you've seen the snow been falling here, and you know, it was mixing with rain. Now it's pretty much all snow up and down the Jersey Shore, and we appreciate everybody being a part of this live stream here today. This live stream is brought to you by Broadley's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. When severe weather hits, trust Broadley's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning for emergency service, keeping your home safe and comfortable before and after the storm. Broadley's, the name you know, the service you trust. Calls 609-525-4080. That's 609-525-4080. We have multi-streaming going on right now. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now here on this Sunday afternoon as this storm really starts to get going here. We're going to talk about what's happening. We're going to look at some webcams across the area, and we'll show you our updated forecast here. If you are snowing, but it's not sticking, I promise you it will stick, and I'll show you some webcams that show you that. All right, let's start off with our first comment. Andrew, Del, Virginia says, I hope we can hit 30 inches in Tom's River. You know, listen, if you're a snow lover, this is your storm. You know, there is still the possibility of 30. I think that's going to be hard to get to be honest with you. No, it looks like we were muted here. Sorry about that. Can everyone hear me now? Looks like people can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me or if you can. I apologize for the error here if you couldn't hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. If you're not, sorry about that if it was muted. I was just talking about the excitement of possibly getting 30 inches of snow. Let's take a comment here from Scott Miles 8353. Now it's starting to stick in Middlesex County. Yeah. And as the sun lowers and it's cooling off, we're going to have more and more places sticking with snow. All right, I want to turn to our webcams here from NJ511. I want to show you what's happening across the state because, yes, you might be thinking, well, you know, it's not really sticking by me, but I promise you it is sticking in other parts of the Garden State. Let me pull this up for you, and let's take a look at some webcams across the area. Just got to flip on my other program here. Let's see if I can pop this on. Looks like we should be able to do it in just a second. And all right. Here we go. This is our DOT webcam. We're going to brighten that up for you. We're going to show you what's happening right now across the area. Sorry for the black here. My apologies. This will change it. Oh, nope. Looks like it went away. Hold on. Let's try it again. Still looks like it went away. All right. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to get into our slides here to show you what's going on. Let's start off as we get into this with the weather alerts. We still have that blizzard warning in effect for all of the Jersey Shore, all of New Jersey. Now, there have been a couple of people who have commented, Joe, I hear about an east trend. What about this easterly trend? Not really so much for the coast, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, that took away the 35 inches of snow possibility, but that was never our forecast here. This is a blizzard with rain, wind, with snow, wind, and tidal flooding. This looks to be the most significant nor'easter we've had since 2016. And we talked about that in our live stream at 11:30 this morning. And as we look across the Northeast, we have blizzard warnings from the coast of New Hampshire all the way down to the southern tip of Virginia. Now I'm taking a look at the radar down there in Virginia. It's more of like a rain-snow mix for the southern part of the tip of Virginia. But that being said, it's pretty large area for snowfall, for a blizzard warning here. Let's take a question. We have Audie the Mastiff on YouTube. Hey, Joe, Absekin here. It's already an inch. My giant dog is stoked. Thanks for your coverage. Well, thank you, Audie. I appreciate it. We are covering the shore like nowhere else here. I know, this is the time of year where the shore kind of gets a little forgotten. We don't forget about it because this is the only place we talk about. We only talk about Atlantic, Cape, Cumberland, Ocean, Monmouth County. So we're here for you here. We're here for you on this Sunday. We'll be here with you 365 days a year. Linda says, just started sticking here in Chester in Morris County. Excellent. And you're going to let us know how much snow you end up measuring as we get later into the night and into our Monday morning across New Jersey. So here's a look at our snowfall forecast. No changes here. Still 18 to 26 for Monmouth, Inland Ocean, and southeastern Burlington counties. Excuse me, I sneezed. And then 12 to 18 for a large swath of New Jersey. And this includes the beach towns here. I mean, it includes Atlantic City. It includes Seaside Heights. It includes Brigantine. We have Coastal Cape at 7 to 12. Based on what I've seen on the webcam so far, it might have to be higher than that. But for right now, we're going to stay 7 to 12 because if you live in that area, you know how hard it is to snow. And I think that's really going to be dependent on what's happening with the precipitation intensity here. Let's go into our winter storm impact timeline. We are just in the beginning stages of this. I mean, we're really in. Let's see if I can draw this for you. We're in the first quarter. That was a bad line, but you get the point. We're in the first quarter of this. We got a long way to go. We'll still be talking about this 24 hours from now. It's a steady snow starting now and pretty much into the evening, and it's getting windier out too. I mean, we have seen wind gusts in the 30s. And then the worst of it, again, is overnight tonight from about 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's where we're going to see snowfall rates over an inch per hour. We're going to see moderate stage tidal flooding. We'll talk about that. And the wind damage and power outage concern also. And then Monday morning is not a walk in the park. It's snowing steadily. We're going to still have wind damage and power outages for parts of the area. We're going to have minor stage coastal flooding during the afternoon. That's nuisance stage, but it's a nuisance, so it's already going to be an extremely impactful storm. And then we go to the evening. Yes, it starts tapering down, but then we have black ice, and it's still breezy out there. So it's a multi-impact storm, as it usually is for us here. But I think we're pretty much snow from here on out. The exception would be coastal Cape May County. Couple of comments here. We have from Vincent on YouTube, sticking in Wall. That's in Monmouth County. Joe, great name. Getting intense in Jackson. Getting froth. Not sure what getting froth means, but I hope it means getting excited. Yeah, look, if you're a snow weenie, you got to be excited. This is the time for it, but there's real impacts with this. There is going to be our worst coastal flooding, similar to what we had, or our worst coastal flooding since Erin in August. And if you remember that was pretty impactful. We had 50 water rescues in Margate in Atlantic County with that. We're going to have strong winds. But in terms of the snow, for someone like my daddy was a sky soldier, we got an inch here in Absecon. I think we are getting over 3 feet. I don't know about that. 3 feet, I'd be very happy for you, but I don't think it's going to happen. So let's keep going. Let's show winter storm risks. Like I said, we already began. It's a strong wind. It's a snow threat here overnight, and the storm is still intensifying. This is going to be what we call a bombogenesis cyclone, a bomb cyclone. You might have heard of it. That means air pressure is falling 24 millibars in at least 24 hours here. We look at our coastal flood stage, moderate stage tidal flooding here for Ocean and Monmouth, as well as Atlantic and Cape May counties. I think I can pull up some tide charts for you. Let me see if I can do that. This is some new software that we're using. Very cool, but I'm still just kind of learning the ropes of it here. So let's see if I can switch the layout. No. Can I do a picture-in-picture? Nope, looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. All right, sorry about that, everybody. We'll get there eventually. Not now, but we'll get there. Basically, we're expecting tidal flooding that's going to be higher than what we saw in the October nor'easter, and similar to what we saw in Erin back in August of last year. these tide heights are on the upper end of moderate. This is the kind of flooding that happens once every 3 years in February. So it's not something we see every February here. Though that data comes from our tidal flooding dashboard that we have. So the tidal flooding is a real concern. If you don't live in a beach town or you come down, you're in the shore only during the summer and you're there a couple days a year, the salt water you're going to see on the roads tonight is not the usual kind of stuff and probably something you haven't seen if you've been at the shore. All right, let's take a couple. We have Anita who says sticking here in Monmouth. I'm in Monmouth, and we're just starting to stick where I am. Just starting to stick. HJ say if this blizzard is what it takes to end snowstorms for the rest of winter, I'll take the sacrifice. Okay, fair enough. I think you'll have your wish. Yes, there's something we're looking for Wednesday and Thursday, but I'm not expecting anything to be significant on the snow front there. Pretty much preparations have to be done by this point. Have your cars off the street, move your cars to higher elevation in anticipation, for the flooding that's ongoing. Keep your phones charged in case of an outage and that heart attack snow. The snow is heavy. It is wet. It's hard to shovel. If you live, now I live in Monmouth County. Last Sunday night, we had 1.5 inches of snow. Not a lot, but I'm shoveling. I'm like, it was a pretty good workout. It wasn't hard, but for 1.5 inches, it was hard to shovel. It was probably just as hard to shovel that as the powder that we had in that January 25th storm. And we had double-digit snowfall with that. Just shows you how much the weight of the snow matters. So keep that in mind. We have Joe on Facebook. Great name. Joe says he's subscribing. Thank you, Joe. We just launched a subscription platform on Facebook where you can subscribe $4.99 a month. If you don't subscribe, you're not going to lose out on anything, but you get extra by being a Facebook subscriber. And he's an engineer. We like to say, meteorology is engineering of the atmosphere. So that is, I appreciate that. Futurecast, let's walk you through it. See a lot of dark blues there. That's heavy snow. The purple is very heavy snow. If that model, this is the North American model, if that model comes true, we're going up in coastal Cape May to 12 to 18. I'm not ready to do that yet, but that's possible. There's going to be some heavy banding of snow. And the thing is with the bands is that, what goes up must go down. And that means if you're under the band, there's someone that's not under the band. And that could be a matter of, 10 miles or so, where you go from, I'm just making it up, but you go from 21 inches to 16 inches. I don't think the impacts are going to be much different, but that's the kind of stuff we could be seeing here. Here's a look at the liquid. Remember I said heart attack snow, it's heavy, wet snow. We have precipitation that's between 2 to 3 inches total. That's the weight, kind of the weight of the water that's going to be on the ground. But most of this is snow. Now, this will go a good long ways in helping out with our drought. Remember, we are in drought for most of New Jersey, but Ocean County, most of you are not in drought. But this is going to go a long way, so we will definitely take it. And here's the winds. I'll let you look at that for a second. I'm going to check in on our Facebook page here and see if there's anything else I'm missing. And you can see the strong winds that will be around. All right. Sorry about that. Just needed a second. But the winds are not at their peak yet. I mean, the winds are blowing around. It is gusting pretty good right now, but they're not at their peak right now. They're going to continue to climb and be at its worst as we go overnight. In these areas in red is where you're going to see the strongest winds. I mean, LBI, Seaside, man, I mean, you guys are just jutting out there anyway. You're like a buoy out in the ocean. That's where we're probably going to see the highest gusts out of this. But because these winds are coming out of the northeast and the east, it's going to push in the tidal flooding. And this is a look at Atlantic City for Sunday night. Mediterranean Avenue's underwater. This is right off of the AC Expressway and Route 30, that area, kind of midtown Atlantic City. much of that area is underwater, and it's not just the usual flooding. Some people, it happens every time we get moderate stage flooding. Oh, it floods there all the time. It doesn't flood there all the time. And if it does flood there all the time, it's flooding more than it usually floods. So this is not the typical kind of flooding. In the past, since the turn of the century, this is going to be a top 10 flood. Top 10 highest high tide. Think of how many high tides we have from the year 2000 to now. This is going to be in the top 10. This is not Sandy. It's not the blizzard of 2016, but it's impactful, and we need to be aware of that, especially with these onshore winds. Looks like we have our first snowfall total. It came in 1/2 inch in Galloway. All right, that's Atlantic County. That's our first one right now. This is a look at ship bottom with the flooding. This is on Long Beach Island. Anywhere on the bay side of Long Beach Boulevard has water in it. Now, it might not be a lot of water, but there's going to be water there. In Central Avenue, corner of Central and 13th, there's going to be a lot of water there. It floods out the side lane, the lanes closest to the curb. Probably only the middle of the road is going to be open at the peak of high tide, but we also have the snow. Let's say you have 6 inches of snow. Now you have the salt water infiltrating that snow. It creates a slushy mess. So, listen, it's just another way to say don't travel Sunday night here. We're pretty much at the point where cancellations are likely as we go overnight. New Jersey transit trains likely to be suspended. I haven't heard anything new. Maybe there's something new out there. Let me just take a quick look. Okay. New Jersey Transit Bus, Light Rail, and Access Link will be suspended starting at 6 p.m. Okay. So starting at 6 p.m., New Jersey Transit is done for tonight and probably into Monday morning. And the travel is going to be near impossible. If you're in Monmouth or Ocean County, you have another hour and a half where the roads are going to be okay. But it's going to quickly get worse. And someone said I measured 1.25 inches in Lakewood. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that observation. Trying to see, checking out something on my tablet here that shows some additional observations. Okay. Let's see if we could take a look at those webcams again, because I really want to show you guys them. Is it going to be possible? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see if I can show you this. It's so dark. Why is it so dark? I don't know. I do not know. Might have to work on this later, and I'm sorry for that. I'm trying to get these webcams up again. There might be one other way for me to do this. Let me see. I'll try one other way. If that doesn't work, then we'll be done. But let's see if I can show you it this way. Nope, not working. All right. Well, so much for the webcams there. Looks like you can kind of see my website. I'm not sure why it's all so dark. My apologies for that. Maybe there's another way of doing it, and I'm just not aware. We're going to try. Yeah, doesn't look like there's another way to do it. All right. Well, look, good live stream. Let me we'll wrap it on up. We'll have another one for you at 7 o'clock. We'll try to show you some webcams. Till then, everybody, let me know what you got. Shout out to Broadley's again for their sponsorship of this live stream.